Hey people, this is Fernando doing another video for Modern Survivalist. I'm just preparing dinner right now for the family, and I'm actually going to be using some of the food supplies I've recommended in the past. Here I have instant mashed potatoes, which I've done a video about before, one of the cheapest things you could stock up on and has a great shelf life. I have some vegetables here in a glass jar, baby carrots and green peas. And well, I'm not going to be using this, but this is canned meat. This is actually pretty good canned meat. It's not the cheapest, but it's pretty good. These threse have great shelf life, way beyond the expiration date that we can find here. This is July 2015, but these three will last years beyond the expiration date. Something pretty important that I have to mention, and you have to keep in mind for whatever food you're thinking of stocking up on. Remember that it's not only important how great a shelf life it has and the nutritional value, that's pretty important. It's also important how much fuel you need to cook it and how much water it requires to cook it and make it edible. All right, those are things you may not have. All right, if you need lots of fuel, of energy to cook it, maybe that's something that you're having to do without. I have here, electricity needed, electricity over there. I have water right here. These are all things that I've been without at some point in life, and I understand perfectly what it means not to have these. All right, so don't forget about that. Don't take it for granted. If it can be eaten right away out of the container, that's a huge plus factor. If not, think about it. How much fuel, energy it's going to be required to process and make that food edible. These two you can eat right away. This one will need water, but the nice thing is it's not needing that much fuel so as to warm and have warmed mashed potatoes. You can even eat it cold, just mixing it with water. I wouldn't envy anyone that eats a cold paste of instant mashed potatoes, but it is possible. Think about it. If you have a huge bucket of white rice, that's fantastic, but how much fuel do you need to cook that? How much water do you need to make that edible? All right, I'm gonna be doing here with using just these two. This I'm not going to be using because I have the possibility of using actually fresh minced meat, which I have here, making a shepherd's pie, combining the meat with the vegetables that I have over there and the instant mashed potatoes, mixing the meat with the vegetables placed here, and once I have the mashed potatoes, covering it all and into the oven. All right, gonna be adding a couple of eggs as well, so as to make it a little bit more interesting, but these are all things you could do without the eggs and such. Okay, now we have to just finish preparing the mashed potatoes. Here I'm using a little bit of oil and salt. It could be done without, of course. The taste would not be nearly as good, but it's perfectly doable. Okay, so we have our meat here. We're spreading it. Make sure it's mixed nicely. Guys, of course you couldn't be using the electric oven if you didn't have electricity, but just showing how you can actually use in normal times and in your normal everyday cooking many of the food items that you actually stock up for a bad day. After we have it like that, okay, making sure it's as even as possible. Now we spread on top of it if you've never cooked before, try practicing it. Don't let your wife do the cooking every day. Do some of it yourself. You know, I try to cook at least 3-4 days a week myself. Mostly because I like doing it. What I like doing it is putting it like that. Whoops. It's all practice, having doing it so many times. It's been a while since I did this actual dish, but yeah. Okay, well, there we go. And we do like these little lines for that extra crispy layer on top. Okay, right, let's come this way here. I'm going to be using a little bit of cheese since we have some, a small handful of cheese there with, it's going to be like burning a little bit on top and actually looking very good. There we go. All right, and into the oven it goes, just like that. About 30 minutes, 10 minutes or so would be okay, since it's all already cooked, and 250 degrees. That's pretty much it. So after 10 minutes, this is pretty much done. Again, these are things that you need electricity for, but you're still using the food stash that you're putting aside for disasters and emergencies, and using it on your everyday cooking for rotation. As you see, the cheese melts nicely, and you have pretty good meal using the stuff from your food supplies. Okay folks, this is just gonna be part of the dinner, and we just cooked for 4. Guys, that's all for now. Remember to subscribe, leave your comments, any suggestions you may have. I'd be more than happy to hear it. See you on our next video. Have a great day.